He slips on the turf. Gets up. Keeps it downfield. Looking for Alec Pierce. He's got it. Touchdown!
This week, the NFL community was jolted by the arrest of Packers running back Josh Jacobs on multiple domestic abuse charges. While the legal process plays out, incidents like this force us to look at the darker, often more unspoken side of professional football. So joining me now is Dr. Potter, a specialist in sports psychology. Doc, we see a spike in these incidents during the offseason. From a psychological standpoint, how difficult is it for these athletes to transition from a highly structured, hyper-violent environment on the field to sudden dead time in civilian life?
It's incredibly jarring, Gabriel. For 6 months, these athletes have their meals, workouts, and adrenaline levels completely micromanaged. When the season ends, that structure vanishes overnight. You combine that with sudden loss of identity and routine with a massive drop in dopamine and adrenaline, it often leads to reckless behavior as they subconsciously try to recreate that high-stakes environment off the field.
Whenever erratic or violent off-field behavior occurs, the public conversation ultimately turns to head trauma. So medically speaking, how significantly does repeated subconcussive hits alter a player's impulse control?
It is a massive factor. We know that repeated impacts, even without a diagnosed concussion, cause trauma to the frontal lobe. And that is the exact part of the brain responsible for emotional regulation, rational decision-making, and impulse control. And when that area is compromised, the player's ability to de-escalate a stressful situation in their personal life is severely diminished.
Yeah. The NFL has poured millions into mental health initiatives recently. So based on what you see in the industry, are these resources actually reaching the players, or is it just mostly reactive public relations?
Well, Gabriel, the resources are absolutely there, but there is still a massive culture gap. In the locker room, showing vulnerability is often viewed as a weakness that could cost you your starting job. Until the league figures out how to improve the stigma of asking for help before a crisis happens, those millions of dollars in resources are essentially just sitting there unused.
Yeah, so there definitely needs to be a third party somewhere. Doctor, thank you so much for the insights. Thanks for stopping by the show and helping us understand this.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to step aside for a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to shift gears to the future of the gridiron. The NFL is spending millions of dollars to kill the chain gang with a new optical tracking camera. But is the Hawkeye system actually fixing the problem, or are we just using a supercomputer to perfectly measure human mistakes? The breakdown is next, right here on NFL OutsidR. And finally, let's talk about the death of the chain gang. The NFL is rolling out Sony's Hawkeye virtual tracking system to measure first downs. The league claims the optical technology will save up to 40 seconds of drive by eliminating the need to drag 2 sticks and a chain onto the field. On the surface, bringing football into the 21st century sounds like a massive win for pace of play, right? There's a glaring multi-million-dollar blind spot, though. A lot of fans don't realize the NFL already has RFID tracking chips inside every football, and they have for years. The problem? Well, those chips have a margin of error of about 6 inches, which is completely useless when you're measuring a first down. So, the league pivoted to Sony's optical cameras, but the cameras have to actually see the football to track it. What happens when a quarterback sneak at the goal line and the ball is buried under 2,000 pounds of linemen? If the camera can't see the pigskin, that system reverts right back to the referee's manual spot, right where we started. Hawkeye will be great for open field plays, but it doesn't solve the pileup. Until broadcast engineers marry the optical tracking of a player's knee hitting the turf with a new sub-millimeter microchip inside the football, we're still relying on human guesswork, disguised by flashy graphics. Well, folks, that's going to do it for tonight's show. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned something. In life, decisions matter, so make good choices, and we'll see you right back here next time on the NFL OutsidR.